Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie. I'm a book loving, notebook hoarding literacy teacher educator on a mission to change lives one book and one notebook at a time. And this is the Get Literate podcast, a podcast where we explore the power of reading and writing to cultivate a life we love. Each week, I offer a bit of bibliotherapy and share 3 books you need to know about on a bookish theme to fuel our reading hearts and help us grow through what we go through. But that's not all. I also invite you to extend those bookish themes into your own life through notebooking, lifelong learning, and creativity to experience the life-changing magic of reading in our lives. And the best part? Each episode is only 20 minutes or less, so you can spend less time listening and more time reading. Now, on to today's episode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of the Get Literate podcast. Today, we're going to talk about writing. Back in episode 5, I talked about 3 books that had inspired my own personal reading life that I thought could inspire your reading life too. And since then, I've gotten some wonderful emails and messages and posts on social media with others sharing the books that have inspired their own reading life. So I could grab them myself and hopefully have them inspire my reading life even more too. But I also got some questions in those emails and messages asking, well, what about your writing life? It seems that there are so many of us who want to make writing a more regular part of our day, whether that's writing in a 5-year journal, in a memory calendar, in a morning pages notebook, in a writer's notebook, a reading notebook, you name it. We all want to seem to find more time and more ways to bring writing into our daily living. And so I'm here with 3 books that could inspire your writing life too. Imagine the power we'll have when we combine them together to build a robust reading and writing life by reading books that we love. So first, I want to talk about what writing means to you. When I say, let's inspire our writing lives, what do you think about? Is writing to you notebooking and jotting down things that have happened in your life that you want to hang on to? Is writing to you more about journaling, where you're talking about what's going on in your daily life, what's going well, what's not, what you want to change, what your life happens to be like at this moment in time? Or is writing for you more of a writing craft? Do you want to write a book? Do you want to write articles or blog? Is that what writing is for you? Or even yet, is writing more about connection? Do you want to get back to writing handwritten note cards or even writing emails or simply connecting with those around you through writing? Writing can mean lots of different things to all of us, and every single definition is exactly what writing needs to be for each of us. So whatever your idea of writing is, I've got 3 books today that I think is going to inspire more writing in general, whether it's more morning pages, 5-year journal writing, or actually boosting your writer's craft to finally write that book that's been jogging around in your mind. Now, for me, writing is about therapy. Honestly, I write to process what's going on. I write to capture wonderful memories in my 5-year memory journal, but I typically write in morning page style every morning to get whatever's on my mind onto the page. And that way my mind is free to do more of whatever it is I want to do. My kind of writing is writing for the soul. It's writing for myself. Yes, I write articles and blogs and books for other people, but when I think about ways to inspire my writing life, that's the kind of writing that I want to grow right now. And that's the kind of writing that I have 3 books to share with you, right? So we talk a lot about bibliotherapy here. Today, we're talking about scriptotherapy. We are going to bring pen and paper together to bring a little bit of whatever it is you need to your writing life. So up first, the book that I want to share with you is definitely one that is well known. It's a national bestseller, and I think it is a seminal mentor text for all writers. And that book is Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott. Now, this book is, I don't even know what word I have for it. It's absolutely essential if you want to live a writing life. The book takes us step by step, page by page, or bird by bird into what writing is and what it could be and what it offers us. The author gives us in-depth looks and quick little snippets on how writing has influenced the course of her life over time. And in the process, she gives us these beautiful recommendations and beautiful instructions, not just for living a writerly life, but for living a life well lived in general. Now, my edition of this book is filled with my favorite way to mark pages, which are with book darts. I do love a good sticky note, but book darts are just these light, malleable metal pieces that you can wrap around a page that can point to a particular quote or section. And if you were able to see my book right now, you would see that I have more book darts than I can count in this book. And it makes the book not be able to close all that well because I have so many nuggets that I wanted to take away from it. My one favorite, if I could only pick one, my one favorite, because most of my writing is for therapy, it is to get what's on my mind and heart off of it onto the page so that I can fill my mind and heart with other things. Here's one of my favorite quotes. You own everything that happened to you. Tell your stories. If people wanted you to write warmly about them, they should have behaved better. I love that, right? Because I'm writing about my life and what's going on and what's bothering me and what's going well. Whenever I go to my notebook to process some negative emotions and some therapeutic writing on the page, I always think of that quote, right? Write it all down. It's your story. Own it, good, bad, or otherwise. I promise you, writing about what's on your mind and heart will help you better have the kind of life you want to have because you've opened up the mental space for more. Bird by Bird has inspiration for writers like me who are writing for a bit of therapy, but there is inspiration there for all kinds of writers, especially if you are looking to truly tell your story on the page. Do you want to write a memoir? Do you want to write a book? Do you want to write something that other people will read? Bird by Bird not only gives you inspiration to do it, but it gives you tips and tricks to get you there and important reminders along the way to preserve your sense of confidence, your sense of self, and your identity, and your wish to share it with others. So Bird by Bird is a highly recommended book if you want to cultivate your writing life. Now, next up is a book that might be a little unexpected. This is a middle grade, maybe moving towards YA book that was published back in 1990 and won the Coretta Scott Key Award. And that is Nikki Grimes' Jasmine's Notebook. Jasmine's Notebook is a little book that can be read in one sitting, but just because it's little doesn't mean that this book packs a powerful punch. In it, we meet Jasmine, who uses her notebook for everything. She has big dreams in her life to get out of her current reality and move into a new reality where she is a writer and she is truly captivating those around her with the words on her pages. Her notebook in this story is where she also goes to process life. And that's what I love about this book. There's a lot of things I love, but the thing that I really love is that just about every chapter begins with an entry from Jasmine's notebook. We can see how she is using writing to process the world around her, to work through big feelings, to process disappointment and anger, but also thankfulness and gratitude and joy. And so while this book might not be like Bird by Bird with instructions and inspiration on how to live a writerly life, we see Jasmine live the writerly life in the pages as we are reading it. Not only does this open up our writing life, but Jasmine's story opens up our own perspectives as well. She gives us new things to think about, things that you might not have lived yourself or have processed yourself, and certainly gives you a new perspective, some empathy, and the ability to remain hopeful. That's the message I took from this book, that all of the things that Jasmine seemed to be facing, she never lost sight of hope. And I think her notebook had a very big part to play in that. So when I think of my notebook, I'd like to fill it like Jasmine does. I would like it to be a space where I'm leaving pieces of myself behind so that I can think forward into what's coming next. So if you need an example of what that might look like, as well as some beautiful poetry to inspire you, then Jasmine's Notebook is a book to add to your TBR. Now, finally, I've got yet another kind of book that I want to share with you. I've got a wide range to appeal to a wide range of readers and writers. And this third book is chock full of writing inspiration. This book is Heart Talk by Cleo Wade. I have lost count of how many times I have purchased this book to share and gift with others. It's that good. It's a book that you can read cover to cover, as I did. And it's also a book that you can just open up to any random page and find some inspiration. Inspiration that you can sit quietly with and contemplate, but better yet, inspiration, of course, that you could then take to your notebook. So I also have lots of pages that are full of book darts in Cleo Wade, because they are pages that I wanted to return to so that I can bring them to my notebook. And in fact, I've even made copies of these pages and glued them right into the notebook so that they could see, I could see, or whoever happens to stumble on my notebook, where I got this inspiration. So one of my favorites is on page 56. It says, maybe don't do things the way you have always done them, simply because that is the way you have always done them, right? There are other quotes that help us think about who we are and what we want. And so I want to read one more to you. It's called Tired. I was tired of worrying, so I gave myself my peace back. I was tired of feeling intimidated by what I should do, so I pulled up my sleeves and got to work on what I could do. I was tired of not knowing, so I found out about myself, my family, my ancestors, my government, and the struggle of others. I was tired of seeing evil everywhere, so I found the heavenly spots and showed my neighbors where they were. I was tired of looking at the world as one big mess, so I decided to start cleaning it up. And when people ask me if I am exhausted, I tell them no, because more than anything, what I got the most tired of was being tired. I think lots of us could relate to this quote. Think about the kinds of writing that this could spark in your notebook. I promise you, you can open up to any random page and write about it. So let me do just that. Let me open up to any random page. I happen to land on page 162, and here's what it says. And why not make all your talks with yourself pep talks? Right? What a great one. Open up your notebook. Let's write a pep talk to ourselves. Let's be like Kid President. We think the world needs a pep talk. So 3 books with 3 different purposes. We've got Bird by Bird to actually give you a step-by-step on how you might live a writing life. We've got Jasmine's Notebook, which is a beautiful example of a young girl living the writer's life to inspire your own. And finally, we've got a book full of inspiration for when you're ready to head to your notebook, and that's Heart Talk by Cleo Wade. So how do I want you to bring this bookish theme to life? Well, of course, I want you to write something. I want you to grab a notebook and write something, write anything. I don't just want you to grab any notebook, though. I want you to grab a notebook that speaks to you. If you have a beautiful notebook just waiting for you, I promise you it will be easier for you to go to it and write in it because it was picked just for you. Now, if you're in my Get Literate community, you know that I have a coaching session on exactly how to find the perfect notebook. But if you would like some guidance and you're not inside Get Literate, you can go to my website, alitlife.com, type in the search bar, notebook, and a post will come up walking you through a couple of questions on what notebook is perfect for you, right? What is your notebook love language? And then if you want more guidance, you can join Get Literate and go ahead and watch that video session. But today, promise me it will be today. I want you to just open up a notebook. If it's the perfect one, great. If you can't do it today, I want you to just write. Maybe you just write a sentence in your calendar or your planner or your agenda about your day or something that you want to hang on to. But better yet, grab a piece of paper and just write down what's on your mind. And if you don't know where to begin, start there. I don't know what to write about, but I want to write about something and see what happens. Or think about that random prompt I just opened to in Heart Talk. Grab a piece of paper and give yourself a pep talk. What would that look like? How would that change your outlook for the day? And how would it help you look at writing a little bit differently? So there you have it. 3 books to inspire your writing life and a notebook challenge for you to find the perfect notebook and just write something. As always, I would love to know what titles have inspired your writing life. So you can email me, you can reply to the comments on the show notes page at alitlife.com, or you can find me on your favorite social media platform at AfinitoLit. I would love to know those titles, add them to my own TBR stack, and keep my writing life going strong too. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Get Literate podcast. You'll find links to all the books, resources, and ideas mentioned in the show notes and at www.alitlife.com. You'll also find additional inspiration for your reading and writing life there, like book lists, notebooking ideas, personalized book recommendations, and an invitation to join my Get Literate members community. Each month, we take a deep dive into one bookish theme and work to bring it to life in our own lives. You'll get a monthly bibliotherapy book calendar with a book recommendation for every day of the month, bonus episodes, live book club sessions, and much more. Learn more at www.getliterate.co.